What is the interest rate on a VA loan? That is actually the third most common VA question, which I thought was super interesting. Anyways, before we start, if you like this channel, hit like. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, especially if you want to know more about VA loans and loans in general. And if you don't like the channel, hit the dislike. Okay, so what is the VA interest rate? Well, it depends. So let's talk about that. First of all, let's do some myth dispelling. Is there one VA interest rate? No, absolutely not. Does VA set the interest rates? No, they don't. And any lender who's telling you that VA sets the rates is lying to you. It is a red flag times 12. So VA interest rates, how do you know what the rate is? Okay, it depends on the lender. I'm not kidding, guys. I cannot say this enough. So with rates, let's talk about rates in general. Every single day, rates change. It's based on what's going on in the market, okay? Now, on top of that, you have what each lender, their margins are. So margins are how much they're marking up a base rate, okay? It's how much money they're trying to make. So if you watch Shark Tank, right, you know how someone will be like, oh, I sell it for $45. And the sharks are always like, well, how much does it cost you to make? And they're like, $2. And the sharks are like, yay, right? Same thing with rates, except you, just as like when I watch that on Shark Tank and I'm like, I'm not buying that. I don't want to be part of that markup. Same thing with rates. So basically, each company is determining how much they want to make off each deal. And it depends on what their interest in a sector is. It's been happening way too long in lending where lenders will goose up VA loans in order to subsidize jumbo loans. No joke. They make these more expensive to give discounts over here. It is messed up, and it's one of the reasons I started this channel is because I thought it was so wrong, okay? So you've got what is the individual lender, the company want to make on every deal. Now on top of that, you've got how much does the individual loan originator make on that deal. So I am a loan originator. The way that my rates are set up is very thin. I have thin margins. The reason is I'm a volume play. Full transparency, guys, full transparency. So I am a volume play. What that means is that in order for me to make money, I have to do a lot of loans. I'm basically taking, $1 here and $1 here and $1 here instead of $1,000 here, $1,000 here, and $1,000 here. So I've got to do a lot more loans in order to make a really good living. Okay, now, what else will you see? Well, you'll see a couple things. So first of all, you could have a loan originator, remember that's what I am, where they don't want to do, gosh, last year we did over 400 transactions. They don't want to do 400 transactions. They want to do 50, but they want to make the same amount of money as the person who did 400, okay? So guess what? They're going to have higher interest rates. It's that simple. They will have higher interest rates because instead of trying to make $1 on a deal, they're trying to make $1,000 on a deal, right? So they'll say things like, well, I only work with a couple clients a month. Yeah, because you can only rip off so many clients a month, okay? So it's important to know there's two ways this varies. Now you may go, oh, well, I'll just call one of the national call centers. That's totally different. Guys, you're not going to get a better rate. Like, I can't tell you. So here's the thing. A lot of times people assume, well, if I call a call center or I go online, since I'm going to have a less experienced person, the rate's going to be better. Not necessarily. Here's why. And not generally, actually in the VA space, it's more rare than not. And the reason's this, the companies, right, they come up with what they need to make per loan, okay? So the company that has that call center or they have that online, their advertising costs, right? Their advertising costs are very, very high because they have to make sure that right, how that you should call them or you should fill in their website. So they spend a fortune on marketing, on being on bases, on donating to things, on basically making sure that every time you as a veteran wake up, they exist. That costs a ton of money. So that's in the margins that they have, okay? A company like where I work, you know, the margin isn't that big. They're not marketing. They're like, I mean, they might think they have a marketing department, but they're not marketing. They count on people like me to raise awareness, to bring in the clients, okay? I'm the one bringing in the client, right? Well, here's the beautiful thing, guys. YouTube is free. So thank you for watching, because I am bringing you guys in right now, right? Giving you education, and I'm able to keep my margins low, and my company's able to keep the margins low because we're not paying a huge chunk of money advertising to you. Okay, now beyond the whole what does it cost, right? You also just have straight greed, which we talked about earlier. You've got some of the big players who are goosing up VA loans, saying things to you like, well, VA loans are always more expensive than conventional. Lie, lie. Or, you know, there's one company I'm thinking of that's tied to a money person, and this money person's always like, well, VA loans are so expensive. He's basically beat into everyone who watches him that VA loans are expensive. Well, of course they are, because the mortgage company he promotes is ripping off veterans every single day with how high their rates and fees are. Okay, so sorry, I got excited, so I coughed. So when you're talking about VA interest rates, what is a VA interest rate? It depends on who you're talking to. Seriously. And that's why I've done so many videos that are like, you need to shop the rate. And the reason you need to shop the rate is we see crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. There's one big national player where every time someone calls us and they say they're working with them, I literally say, okay, I'm going to save you 1%. Up to $3,500, I'm gonna get you a rate that's 1/4 to 0.5% better, because we know how far out of the market that they are. There's another lender where they're consistently 0.5% higher, consistently, right? And they do a ton of VA loans. And the reason no one's calling them on it is because they've been brainwashed that this company is all about veterans and doing what's right for veterans. Guys, companies exist to make money, right? So you need to shop the rate. Now look, full transparency, do I do this for free? No, I don't. I make money as a lender. But once again, I have that model where it's $1, not the exact amounts, right? Versus $1,000. Okay, so that's what you kind of want to know is like, hey, is the lender I'm working with, are they a volume play? Or is this a lender that does 5 deals a month? Because if it's a lender that does 5 deals a month, you're paying their mortgage, right? Also, is this company doing a lot of marketing? Let me pay attention to everywhere I'm seeing this company. Let me think about how much that costs. Because people never think about that, right? They just go like, you know, it's like, why do we all know the name Coca-Cola, right? Or Pepsi? Because they have spent billions of dollars advertising to us for generations. So it's really important with VA because, guys, I'm not talking about just 0.5%. I legitimately see loan estimates every single week where Alyssa and I will go, holy hell. Like, whenever we think we've seen the worst, we see a new one that's worse. Like someone being charged, we had one just the other day where they were being charged 1 point for a rate that was 1% higher than what we could do with no points, and you know, the rate was 1% lower, okay? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And look, I am not saying that I am going to be the lowest rate every day. I do my best to be as competitive as possible. I watch rates like a hawk. If I am ever higher in the market than someone else, I am on the phone with corporate saying, guys, you know this. Everyone knows this. Let's get the best deal for the veterans. Make this happen. We're going to do this. We're going to crush all these people until they start understanding that they need to treat veterans better. They need to give them better rates, and they need to stop the bullshit because someone's holding them accountable. Okay? So, sorry. It's a triggering question. What is the VA interest rate? And the reason is, guys, it varies based on who you talk to. So make sure you get quotes from a couple different lenders. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll look at loan estimates too. And I say this in all my rate shopping type videos. If the lender you're working with is treating you good and giving you a good deal, I am not going to say it's trash just to get your business. I want more good lenders, especially in the VA space. We need them. We need them to push out the trash. So if you guys have a great lender you're working with, if the loan estimate looks good to us, if we think they're taking good care of you, we will say, this is a great deal. You need to go with this. However, if you're getting ripped off, we're going to tell you, and we're going to try to save you from it, and we can close quick, we can step in the middle of transactions. That's the beautiful thing about VA. The appraisals are transferable. You know, we do it every day. But the key is, you're a veteran. You deserve to get the best deal you can. Okay? And you need to rate shop, because there are far too many people out there who are playing on the fact that you trust them to rip you off. So I hope this video has been helpful. As always, I am licensed in 48 states. Questions, comments, feelings. Did you compare a couple lenders and see that one was just ripping you off? Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.